Hey everyone, it's Taryn Perry here. I want to talk to you about meal planning and meal prep as we get started in about 48 hours for our 5-day clean eating group. And I'm going to be giving you a 10-day, yes, 10-day, kind of a little bonus, and maybe you weren't expecting it, a 10-day sample meal plan along with the corresponding recipes. So from that, what I want you to do is actually print them out. They should be anywhere from like 2 to 4 pages. And on the meal plan, I want you to match what you're going to consume every day. Okay, so I want you to actually get out your calendar, mark out what you're going to eat, and start to plan ahead. This is one of the critical steps, and I'm going to elaborate a little bit more as we get into the 5-day clean eating program. But the meal planning and meal prep is vital to this whole process, and it's something that I do every single week without fail. You know, human fail, of course. During the summer, it gets a little spotty, but now that we're in the full swing of fall and we're back into routines, meal planning happens. And yes, this is Labor Day weekend, and we're starting on Tuesday, and so it's kind of like a Monday, and right now kind of feels like it's still the weekend. But it's still critical to have a plan. So I want to talk about what that's going to look like. You're going to take your meals that I provide you, or maybe a rendition of that, and then you're going to actually write down your grocery list. Because if you don't know what you're going to get when you go to the grocery store, then you're just going to get a whole bunch of stuff that looks good and probably healthy, and then you come home and go, gosh, I don't have anything that puts together a meal. I have a lot of food, but I don't have anything that puts together a good meal. So a lot of the recipes that I've given you are my staples, like stuff that I make day in and day out. I like variety, and so I'll switch up flavors and I'll add different spices, or I'll switch the meats out or the veggies out. But it's pretty standard and pretty typical for our meals especially when we sit down for dinner. I feel like that's the most challenging meal to get settled throughout the week, but it can be super easy and duplicated every single week once you get into a habit of it. Okay, but it's just most important to have these things on hand. So here's what I do on Sunday, and this is what I want you to do. And if it's on Saturday, if you need a little bit more time, then do that as well. But I get my groceries, whether I get time to go to the grocery store by myself. Otherwise, I order Amazon Fresh. It's a local delivery that we've got of local fruits and vegetables and lean proteins and basically kind of your grocery staples without having to go to the grocery store. So for me, it's a huge time saver. We have Instacart here locally too, and that can be my delivery from Costco, which sounds crazy, but it actually saves me tons of money. Because if you are like me and you go with kids, or you just kind of go and poke around, you end up spending way more money than you need to. So I have my plan, and so Amazon Fresh is standard, probably once or twice a week, but I try and get the bulk of my stuff at the beginning of the week. Okay, so on my rotating grocery list, I always have sweet potatoes, I always have onions, I have carrots, so I kind of have those root vegetables. And depending on what's in season, and now that we're going into fall, we're going to see a lot more squashes, Brussels sprouts, broccoli and cauliflower are year round. You're always going to see greens like kale and chard and spinach, but buy those based on what your meals are going to be, especially when we're talking about the greens. Because if you go out and buy greens and then you don't use them within 2 or 3 days, they start to wilt, they start to go bad, and then we're not motivated to use them, and who wants to waste money? Right? So this is about being budget friendly as well. Okay, so go and get your seasonal fruits and vegetables. If you're going to the grocery store, you want to shop on the perimeter. So for us, and most grocery stores, when you walk in, the produce section is really the first thing you see. So look for the most colorful fruits and vegetables that you're going to eat and are a part of a meal plan or recipe that you're going to implement that week. Okay, so you can get the sweet potatoes, you can get the onions, you can get the carrots. Those likely are going to stick around and be good all week. You can get peppers, Brussels sprouts, like I said, your apples, your bananas, whatever fruits are in season. Grapefruits, oranges, pears, kiwis, and all that are kind of going out. Berries, depending on where you live, can be in season. We're kind of probably on the tail end of the berries. So that's when you maybe want to go frozen. But try and shop as fresh as possible. And these meal plans that I'm giving you are just samples. So you can switch out anything that you want. I really encourage you to get creative and also to think for yourself a little bit. Okay, so that's why I want you to actually write down or put on your smartphone what you're gonna go and shop for. Okay, so when you go and get your haul and you make your way around the perimeter of the store and you go and get your lean meats, whether you're a beef eater or turkey, ground turkey, chicken, eggs are a great source of protein. You know, if you're going to eat dairy, we're going to talk about the types of dairy you should consume, and it's going to be in minimal amounts. I may even suggest stripping dairy altogether for you this week, but this is very standardized and very surface as far as the foods we're talking about this week. So I don't want to get caught up in things that you need to eliminate. I do that more with my clients. So if you need something that's more of an elimination type program, then let's talk and we can put something together for you. Okay, but get all your meats and your dairy, your eggs, everything that you need, your non-dairy milks, because there's a lot of that you can implement. Go to the bulk section, get your quinoa, get brown rice if you choose, get your raw almonds and your raw walnuts and your seeds that you could put on your salads. Shop in bulk because it'll save you a ton of money. Okay, so when you shop the perimeter of the store and you avoid going down the centers, then you're going to save heaps of money because you're not paying for the marketing. You're not paying for those packages, right? So bring your own grocery bags, bring your own stuff to put your fruits and vegetables in your own containers. Most stores allow you to do that and they measure it and weigh it and all that good stuff, okay? So you've done your planning, you've gone to the grocery store, now you bring it home, and what's next? Well, you've got to actually plan it out. Okay, don't just shove it all in your refrigerator because then you have to bring it out and meal prep for the day becomes a little bit more time intensive, and our goal is to make the most of our plan of planning ahead and getting it out of the way on Sunday. So I will cut up vegetables, I will cut up peppers, I cut up carrots, I cut up cucumber, I cut up broccoli and sometimes cauliflower, and I put them in a big Tupperware bin that we have, and that's always in the fridge. So it's easy and accessible for the kids for their snacks, and my husband can pull them out and put them in their lunch. Yes, my husband makes my kids' lunches every week, every day of the week when school is in session. God bless him. But then we know that they're there. He doesn't have to cut them up in the morning or the night before. They're there for me when I'm hungry and I can snack on them. I will make my own hummus. There's a hummus recipe for you. Or I will go buy a clean hummus. Okay, and I say clean. We're going to talk about label reading too later on in the program, but I want you to actually know what you're buying and be able to read the labels. Whole Foods makes their own in-house, maybe 4 or 5 ingredients. You know exactly what's in it. Same if you go and make your own, never going to doubt what's in it, right? So have those things done ahead of time. You can grill your chicken. If you're not in monsoon season or it's not pouring down rain, throw the chicken on the barbecue. Throw some steak on the barbecue. Grill up the chicken or bake the chicken and have it done and prepped and cut up so you can throw it on salads or already marinating. So tomorrow when you go to make your first meal, you can just put it in the oven and it's ready to go. And maybe it's only going to need to take 20-25 minutes, depending on your oven, to bake. Or you're going to saute it with some vegetables on the stove. You know, whatever your plan is, just have that kind of step taken ahead of time so you can do it. Whether you're cutting up the raw chicken and putting it in a bag and putting it in the fridge so you can have it ready for a saute later on in the week, and then corresponding vegetables that are going to go with that saute. Okay, same with any salads that you're going to make. Cut them all up. Get some mason jars. If you go to work every day and you can bring a salad, get those mason jars. Pinterest has a ton of ideas of different salads that you can make, and you can put them in mason jars and they stay fresh. You can make 5 ahead of time, pull one out each day, boom, you're out the door, there's your lunch, right? Same with snacks. You know, since I'm home most of the day, I have them available to me. I'll just take a little scoop of raw almonds. I love almond butter, so I'll cut up an apple. I always pair my apple with a healthy fat like almond butter, just because that spike in sugar, if it's eaten alone, we'll talk more about that later, but it can kind of trigger that crash and crave. You know, apples, fruit are are a carbohydrate. They do convert to sugar, but they are complemented well with a healthy fat, and it can actually sustain and give you more energy when they are prepared with a healthy fat. So just a little side tip there. Anyways, so having those things planned, your snacks, if you leave the house every day for 8-9 hours, have a snack bag, you can get those little snack zipper bags, put in some almonds. You can make your own trail mix with raw almonds, seeds, anything that you want to put in it that's not sugar laden, that doesn't have extra oils or anything in them, and isn't roasted or salted. Let's stay away from the extra roasted and salted stuff this week, okay? So your goal going into the week and going into these 5 days that we're going to work together is to have everything mapped out. Have a plan. Write it down. Go to the grocery store. Bring it back into the house. Cut it up. Put it in the fridge or put it in the freezer and have it ready and available to you. So if you do come home from work or you know that the kids have a ton of activities, all you have to do is either throw it in the crock pot or throw it in the oven or throw it on top of the stove, and you know it's going to take maybe 20 minutes max to prepare the meal, but you already have most of the legwork done because you did it on Sunday. And it's going to take maybe an hour to 2 hours, depending on if you are going to the store, okay? So just think about that and mentally prepare for that and block it out in your family time. So if you use your Sundays to kind of get things, settled down and have something fun family day, allow yourself just with this week, okay, just try it. And if Sunday doesn't work, try it on Saturday, but you have to isolate this time if you're going to be successful in sustaining a lifestyle of eating better, is you have to plan ahead. And so find that 2-3 hour window on Sunday that you can bang all of this out, because it'll save you tons of time, tons of headaches, and you won't be reaching for unhealthy foods. You won't be going through the drive-through, you won't be ordering pizza, or you won't be going to a restaurant and getting crappy food because you have it all in the house and you know ahead of time what you're going to make. Okay, so make this simple for yourself. I'm excited to see what you guys put together, and I want to make sure that you are taking pictures of your meals and sharing them in the group on the thread each day, so we know what you're eating and also know what your workouts are. So I will also be posting workouts for you every day of the 5 days. So look forward to that as well. If you've got any questions, please make sure you reach out to me. You can email me, Facebook message me, whatever. I want to make sure I'm available to you. But those are my tips for getting you going with your meal prep and your meal planning. And I will be posting for you the recipes and the sample plan to go by. All right, you guys, game on. Have a great one.